Hey there guys, it's Ant here at Cutting Edge Guitar, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about how to break out of the pentatonic boxes. This is a super common guitar question I've been asked a lot over the years, and I can't wait to share my answers with you. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, just quick before I get into the answers of this lesson, I just want to ask, if you've enjoyed the video, please do smash that like button, share it to anybody that you think will benefit from this, tell all your friends, and hopefully bring more lessons to you. Right, breaking out of the pentatonic boxes. What is that all about? Well, a lot of guitar players out there, they get stuck learning this. Well, not learning it, I suppose they get stuck after learning it. Shape one of the old faithful minor pentatonic, okay? And then, of course, a lot of players will then start doing a bit of research on the internet, and they find out that there's a few more shapes of that, and then they go, oh, okay, so now if I, next door to my shape one, I've got shape two. And next door to that, there's a shape three, etc, etc. So if you don't know, there are 5 shapes of the minor pentatonic. There are 5 different notes of the minor pentatonic scale. Each one of those shapes starts on one of the notes of the scale. If you need more help with learning all of that stuff, and you need to know about the caged system, and you want a way more in-depth understanding of that sort of thing, check out the links in the description, because I've got all of that stuff there, and you're probably not ready for the things that I want to talk about here. If you're ready to move on, then of course let's talk about the next thing. So, breaking out of the boxes. I think a lot of guitar players are kind of looking at that wrong. It's not so much that you want to break out of playing in the boxes, because the fact of the matter is you're going to use those boxes as your visual representation for where you are on the neck, okay? But when people are talking about breaking out of the boxes, I think a lot of the time what they're talking about is the fact that they've got their lick, for example, that they play in shape one. And they feel like they just endlessly go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward between those kind of bits of vocabulary in shape one. And then they've probably got their shape two lick, so they go, oh, I'm done with this part of the neck now, so I'm now going to move up here. So they've got their shape two vocabulary, and then they end up going back and forward, you know, just around that shape, and then like, all right, well, I'm done with shape two, so I'm going to now move up to shape three. And I've got my vocabulary in that part of the neck, and I just play the same things over and over again. So that's what they're talking about when they're saying about, you know, being trapped, stuck in the boxes. They've got a whole bunch of vertical lines and vocabulary that just moves like that in shape one, then in shape two, then in shape three. And then, of course, the solos are dictated to by a fretboard knowledge basis of going, well, I have to start here because I only know shape one, and then I can only find my shape two if I go from shape one, and that sort of thing. So for one thing, I think with this, it's not so much about getting rid of the boxes. It's about learning how to connect them properly. So let's talk about a very, very simple idea. Pretty much something that any guitar player can do, which is a trill. If I was to do a trill just in my shape one, what I want to do is I want to be able to take that through those different boxes, okay? So if I take this basic trill idea and play it in box one, and now play it in box two, it looks like this. And then in box 3, and 4, and 5, and 1. So what I've done is I've basically taken this idea that would have been in my trap of being stuck in one position of the neck, then I've moved it to lots of different positions. Again, the trill or something like that can almost be its own sort of trap, because you're sort of there going, oh, I'm trilling while I'm thinking about where I'm going to go next. So let's imagine that if I just wanted to do something like, you know, I've added a little bit of a rhythm to my trill there, but I'm essentially doing like a, So I've got a little bit of trill and then immediately slide into my next position. That adds a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of character or something. I'm not saying that you want to take that as a lick or whatever. I'm just thinking on my feet here of something that I could just play that would mix it up a little bit. But with that, because I've mixed up the rhythm, it sounds a bit more musical. But what we've also got in that is something called thematic development. So with this, I've got a theme. Okay, now because I'm moving that through the different shapes of that scale, okay, I've now got a theme where you hear that theme in those different areas. I'm hearing it from a different point of the scale, okay, so I'm doing it from an A to a C, and then I'm doing it from the C to the D. So that theme moves up through the tones of the scale. That's great for us as guitar players, because what happens is I've got a thing that's saying, like, it starts low, it's working high, so it's building, and you want solos to build in terms of intensity and stuff like that. So as I'm moving up the fretboard as well, what you also want to do is figure out how you exit a phrase like that. So a bend with a bit of vibrato is a very common way for us to exit our licks and lines as a blues and rock guitar player. So that's one way that most people would look at breaking out of the boxes. Now the thing is, we've only broke out of the boxes in terms of I'm playing lines along the length of one string now. It's still the notes of A minor pentatonic. Like when we're playing this, a lot of guitar players, a lot of sort of beginning lead guitar players, they don't think about this stuff enough, and they don't really learn the notes, what they're playing, or, you know, what they're actually playing against the chord. They don't think about the intervals, how that interval is affecting their chord and all that stuff. If I'm playing, obviously this is A minor pentatonic, I'm playing an A, a C, a D, an E, and a G. Then my 5 notes, and intervallically, if I was playing against an A minor chord, I've got a root note, a minor third, a fourth, a fifth, and a flat 7. So when I'm doing this in a straight line, I've got here my root, or my A, I've got my minor third, my C, I've got my fourth, my D, I've got my fifth, my E, my flat 7, my G, and then again my A here. So this is only A minor pentatonic being laid out in a line rather than being played across the neck like this vertically. So if you visualize this as like a lot of players, I've heard a lot of top guitar players over the years say, oh, you've got to think this way along the neck and not this way along the neck. And that's true. Like, you know, some of the best guitar players in the world, you see them playing licks that move up and down the neck like this, and you're stuck in that box position, like you've almost got paralysis being in that one place. If you learn how to connect those boxes, you will break out of that habit of being stuck playing vertically like this. But you're not going to not break away from the boxes, because the way that you visualize this is you go, well, I'm playing in shape 1 here, I'm playing in shape 2 here, I'm playing shape 3 here, shape 4 here, and shape 5 here. Hopefully that all makes sense, but that is one way that I would start thinking about doing it. On top of that, I would come up with a whole bunch of lines and ideas that you can do that for every single string, because you don't want to be doing that just on one string. You want to be able to do that on all your strings. When you can do that stuff on just one string, you want to be able to do it on sets of strings. So let's say, for example, I had a thing that my theme was like very, very basic lead guitar thing, but if I move that up to shape 2, it's, and then shape 3, shape 4, shape 5, shape 1. But again, with that, you've got an idea that's moving up the neck, it's organic, it's musical because it's moving around and all that stuff. And there we go. So I don't want this video to go on and be super, super long for you guys. I think hopefully I've put the idea across there. If you want way, way more help on understanding your fretboard, how to perfect your technique, how to develop a musical vocabulary with these ideas and become an absolute master guitar player, then check the link in the description below where you can come and take a free trial of Cutting Edge Guitar and come and see all of the stuff that I have to offer, where I'll be able to help you way more than I can here on YouTube. Okay guys, please do smash that like button if you've enjoyed the video, share it far and wide, subscribe to the channel so that you see my next one, and I will look forward to seeing you over at Cutting Edge Guitar or on the next YouTube lesson. Take care guys, I'll see you soon.